Dolly Parton has always understood who she is and where she came from. She has never tried to escape the truth of being a farmer's daughter from the Great Smoky Mountains. In fact, she built her entire life honoring it. But pride in her roots never meant she was willing to stay small, silent, or owned by anyone else. Long before the Rhinestones, Dolly grew up in a one-room cabin in East Tennessee, one of 12 children in a family that survived on faith, hard work, and very little money. Poverty wasn't a chapter, it was the landscape. Winters were cold, food was scarce, and privacy didn't exist. Yet in that crowded, fragile world, something unmistakable stood out. Dolly's voice. It carried strength, emotion, and clarity far beyond her years. Music wasn't entertainment for her. It was refuge. It was how she made sense of the world. By her teens, she was already performing locally, and at 18 she left home with nothing but songs, determination, and belief in herself. Nashville was not kind to young women with opinions, ambition, and creative control. The industry preferred women who followed instructions. Dolly didn't fit neatly into that mold, but her talent was impossible to ignore. That was when Porter Wagoner entered her life. He was already a star, established, influential, and powerful. When he invited her to join his television show as a duet partner, it felt like validation and opportunity wrapped together. He gave her exposure, a platform, and weekly access to a national audience. Professionally, it was a turning point. On stage, they were a perfect pairing. Offstage, the balance of power was never equal. What began as mentorship slowly shifted into control. Decisions about music, image, and direction were no longer collaborative. As Dolly's songwriting sharpened and her popularity grew, tension followed. She wasn't content to remain a supporting role in someone else's spotlight. She wanted autonomy, creative and personal. That desire came at a cost. When Dolly chose to leave the partnership and pursue a solo career, the separation was anything but graceful. Porter sued her for millions, claiming ownership over what she had become. For someone who valued loyalty and gratitude, the lawsuit wasn't just a legal battle, it was a personal rupture. The pain wasn't about money or credit, it was about trust that had been quietly broken. Dolly never publicly attacked him. She didn't tell her story in interviews or frame herself as a victim. Instead, she worked. She wrote. She built. Her career expanded beyond country music into film, philanthropy, and cultural iconography. While the conflict faded into industry history, her legacy only grew. And yet, some wounds don't disappear simply because life moves forward. Years later, as Porter's health declined, there were rumors of reconciliation. Some said she visited him. Others said there were apologies. Dolly never confirmed the details. She never needed to. Silence for her was not avoidance. It was choice. Forgiveness, she has often suggested, doesn't require reopening doors. Dolly's public warmth has always been genuine, but it has never meant she lacks boundaries. Experience taught her that not everyone who supports you wants you to succeed beyond them. That lesson shaped how she mentored younger artists, encouraging independence, ownership, and self-worth. Porter Wagoner was not a villain in her story. He was something more complicated. Someone who helped her rise but couldn't accept her growth. And sometimes that kind of disappointment leaves the deepest mark. Dolly Parton didn't need revenge or public reckoning. She chose dignity, distance, and forward motion. Not all scars demand attention. Some simply remind you never to surrender yourself again.